Hi everyone, my name is Steve Bridges, and if you're watching this, you're in one of my classes for summer of 2025 at Whatcom Community College. And this short video is going to kind of go over what to look for in the class, how to get started, some of my homework policies, and just kind of a general guide to the course. So I'm going to share my screen right here in a second. I've got a little list of things to cover, and we will get started. Be right back. Okay, first we've got a little slide here that covers my contact information. Like I said, my name is Steve Bridges. Hello, or hello again if you've taken a class with me before. Here are the list of the ways, excuse me, to contact me. Here's my email address, sbridges@whatcom.edu. Probably the best way to get hold of me is through Canvas messaging. I'll show you where that inbox is once we look at the Canvas pages, but this will also go to my email and Canvas messaging, so it's kind of a double way to make sure that I get the message. Here is my phone number. I do want to stress that this just goes to a voicemail. Don't actually have a phone in the area where I work. So just know, like, I will get back to you, of course, but just know that when you call, nobody's going to be picking up that line. It's just going to voicemail. So, yeah. I do, even though these are online classes for summer, I do have time on campus if you're a person who can get to campus or has other classes on campus. I work out of the business lab, which is in Learning Commons room 301. I'm going to be there Tuesday through Thursday, 11 through 3. And I just like to have a physical space set up. Again, even though it is an online class for people who like to maybe prefer to work in that, sort of physical space, or just if people want to come by and have maybe more in-depth questions or want to see something, I can give an example for something hands-on where it's a little bit tougher online or over Zoom. I also have a Zoom room though. There is the room ID. I don't have assigned Zoom hours. It's pretty much just by appointment, but my schedule is pretty wide open. I can meet pretty much anytime, even evenings and weekends if needed, depending on your schedule. I would just need a little bit of lead time for that. Um, and with that said, we're going to switch now to look at the Canvas page and kind of go over again how things work, how I've got things set up, and how to turn in the homework. Okay, and this is a Canvas page for Accounting 130, the QuickBooks class, but I have my classes set up exactly the same way. I teach a lot of classes, and I kind of have them all set up exactly the same way. So this will look very, very similar to your class if you're not in Accounting 130. As we go through here, we have the, excuse me, button I hope you clicked on to get to this video. Next is the syllabus. The syllabus for my courses, it tells you the book you'll need and my grading scale, but really most of the information, there's a lot of like see Canvas for information. A lot of it is really just built into Canvas here. Um, for almost every class, there will be student handouts that you'll need. I'm trying to leave notes on here to make things pretty clear, but you'll need these for some of your homework. For some classes, the student handouts will be for all of the homework. They are basically, like if you're in a Word class, they will be the starter Word files that you'll use to work on your homework. If you're in Excel, the Excel files, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where you'll find them. Almost every class uses them at least somewhat. So if you see that, you're definitely going to want to download those and keep those somewhere where you can use them often because you will need them for your homework. How to submit assignments is a short video here. I'll click into it. But here it is. I have a requirement to turn in zip files. The reason why is because typically for your homeworks, you'll have a lot of files to go in each week. And so I have you turn them in as a zip to kind of keep them a little bit more organized and to turn in just one thing instead of a bunch of different files. Those videos will show you how to do that on PC. And I'm not a Mac user, so I don't really know how to do a lot of stuff on Mac, but I've included just a YouTube video for zipping on a Mac. Um, Office hours and Zoom link. This is what I just told you. You can check there if you need them. And then we'll get down to the assignments. And here, this is what you'll be doing every week. Um, here we have your due date, for each assignment. Pretty much assignments are due on Friday each week. We do hit the ground running and kind of do with, we have assignments due each week. This Friday, the first Friday, I should say, is 4th of July. So I moved that date to Saturday, but everything else is going to be uh, the next Friday, next Friday, next Friday. If there is a video to watch for that assignment, it'll be right here or right here. You see where I have plus example video here for especially this is specifically for the accounting classes, is that I do have um, an example video for every or almost every homework that you're going to have. So you can click here before you do your homework or as you're doing your homework um, to to see example videos or partially maybe part of the actual homework that you're going to be doing to give you a little guide and kind of a little mini lecture for the subject along the way. And then the rest of it is just kind of what you're doing. So for this particular course, their first week, they want to read the first two chapters and then complete these homework assignments that are at the end of the chapters for this particular book. For a lot of people, this will be exactly how it looks because one of the textbook companies I use pretty much the same thing as where they'll have a develop your skills, reinforce your skills, apply your skills. Those are just three parts of a chapter for a book. And that is pretty much it. If you'll see here that they're very similar each time. Again, the assignment due date is right here. This tells you what you want to do, and then you will submit the assignment right down here. If there's a video, it'll be listed here, listed that there's one to watch. And that kind of goes through it. Let's see, here is, like for this class, there's a midterm here, which there's a little less to do. Let me pop over to this particular class doesn't have a final project, but I'm going to pop over to another one that does. So dashboard. Oh, of course I can't look at it because I'm in student view. So we'll leave student view. You see, I do teach a lot of classes, so that's why I kind of have these set up exactly the same way. Let's see. 121 has a final project. And so, as you can see, again, it looks very, very similar to the assignment due date. That's where you turn it in. This particular course doesn't have one of those example videos, so it's not there. And again, the same stuff that you'll see here. Switch to student view, though, so it'll look exactly like you guys will see it. Some courses do have a final project. Those are just down here at the bottom. But just always check, because you see assignment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just check to the bottom, make sure if your class has a final project or not. And you can see how the scoring on those is split out in the syllabus. One kind of other thing is like sometimes for courses, there will be a little bit of there'll be a note here for your homework. If there is an assignment that is changed a decent amount from the book, I'll just put another little page here that says, read here for further instructions or something like that. And that's pretty much Canvas. If you've used it before, it's pretty straightforward, but if you haven't, that's how it works. And then let's see here, take a little pause and be right back. Okay, now I do want to stress that for most of these classes that we're working with, we're going to use Microsoft Office in some way, Word or Excel or PowerPoint. And you have access to free Office, just being a student at Whatcom Community College. I'm going to show you where to get that and talk a little bit about Macs and Chromebooks, because those work a little bit differently. So if you are at the Whatcom web page, you want to go here, the About Whatcom, no, it's current students. And you will go to Computer Access and Tech Help. This can help with a lot of things, such as getting set up with a network, Canvas, student email. What I want to look at here is the Microsoft 365. If you click here and click here, that will get you to the instructions on how to download Office. Those Mac instructions are right there. I will say that my classes, the textbooks are written for PC. So if you're using a Mac, things might be a little bit different, especially in some of the Word classes. If you don't want to work, don't want to have to deal with that sort of slight misalignment, you can go through VMware. Contact me if you want to talk about how that works. It's a little bit of detail, but this is how you do it. This is also how you might have to do it if you are a Chromebook user, because at the last check, maybe it's changed by now, but Office and Chromebooks didn't really like each other so much. Maybe that's different now. And let's see here. That is pretty much it. Just it's, the software you'll need, the textbook that you'll need is in the syllabus, and then on Canvas we'll show you, kind of what you're doing each week. I guess finally, I'll just talk about my late work policy. It's summer. We do have to hit the ground running. I will take work late pretty much to the end of the quarter. I typically don't count off for it. I might if it's like, the last week of class and you're turning in everything, or, there's a real panic at the end. It creates a little bit of extra work for me, so I might make it a little painful for you, but not much. Other than that, yeah, and I also really want to stress, let me stop the share, is if you have any questions along the way at all for anything about how the class works, of course, the course content, anything else, just let me know. The business lab where I am going to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I have it set up so I can help pretty much students who are in any business or accounting class. So if you have maybe need a little extra tutoring help in business or accounting classes, you can get a hold of me for that too in the business lab, or you can email me too. And that's pretty much it. Really just, I want to make this process as smooth as possible. If you have any questions at all, any questions, please let me know. And yeah, look forward to the quarter. Have a good one. And yeah, take care.